Hello and welcome back to the third rail. We have a new addition to the collection today. I just received this class 216 of the Deutsche Bundesbahn, the last model of this type I was missing, so it doubles as a mini milestone for the collection. It's also a bit sick according to the listing, so this should give us something interesting to look at. Or maybe not, we'll see. As usual with the new editions format, we'll cover a bit of trivia around the model, a bit of history about the prototype to put it in context. We'll then have a closer look, try and fix anything that requires attention, and hopefully finish the video with a run on the layout. If you like diesels, you are up for a treat today, so grab a glass or cup of the poison of your choice. Sit back and relax as we look at what is probably one of the most loved type of German diesel locomotives. So what have we got here? This is Märklin 3674, one of the references released in 1985 for the launch of Märklin Digital. Digital decoder aside, the model shares its tooling with an existing analog version, reference number 3074, that had been in the catalogue since 1975. 3074 was itself based on 3075, originally released in 1968. 3674 remained in the catalogue for a relatively short 7 years, during which two versions were produced. Version 1, released in 1985, cosmetically identical to the analog 3074, but with a different running number, 216127-1. This was changed for version 2 in 1987. The running number reverted to the one used for the analog version, 216090-1. This version remained available until the model dropped off the catalogue in 1992-93. From that point onward, Märklin offered the model in Delta configuration under reference number 3374. The tooling itself remained the base for many models until 2010, or maybe even later. Right, time for a few vital statistics. The model measures 18.2 centimeters buffer to buffer. The body is made of plastic and paired to a zinc die-cast chassis. It is fitted with a digital decoder known as Type 6080, controlling a large 3-pole universal motor known as a large flat collector motor, or LFCM in Märklin lingo. It's self-driving, 2 axles fitted with 4 traction tires. Looking at the cabs, we have triple headlights, which are directional in digital and always off in analog mode. And the model is fitted with the customary relax couplers. Next, we'll have a high-level overview of the prototype for context. The Class 216 of the Deutsche Bundesbahn was a multi-purpose diesel-hydraulic locomotive. Before 1968, the class was numbered V160. It was designed in the late 1950s to replace mid-range steam engines on non-electrified lines. These would have been Class BR03, BR50, BR38, and BR78, to name just a few. I covered the development in another video. I have put a link to the prototype overview section in the info box at the top if you want to pause and go and watch it now. But to summarize, Krupp was tasked with the design in 1956. The first prototype was delivered in 1960. Krupp delivered 5 additional prototypes and Henschel another 3 until 1962-63. These prototypes are nicknamed Lolo after the Italian star Gina Lollobrigida because of the distinctive shape of their cabs. The class acquired its final appearance with the last prototype. Henschel reused the cab design from their V320 as it was cheaper and easier to produce, as well as more aerodynamic, and a few technical modifications were made. This final design was adopted for the production machines that rolled out of the factory from 1964 onwards. These locomotives were fitted with a 1900 horsepower Mercedes-Benz V12 engine, a Voigt hydraulic transmission, and a diesel-powered steam generator to provide heating for coaches. Many units were fitted with the equipment required for push-pull services or dual traction. The locomotive was capable of reaching speeds of up to 120 km per hour. 224 units were produced until 1968. The first 154 entered service as V160 and were renumbered to 216 in 1968. The class could be found in front of all sorts of services, initially in the north and west, then all over the country. The technical platform of the Class 216 was reused for an entire family of over 800 locomotives. The most important members of this family are the Class 215, with 150 units built, and the Class 218 with 411 units. Both are cosmetically similar, but are 40 centimeters longer than the 216. The 215 was fitted with an improved boiler and was 10 to 20 kilometers per hour faster depending on the motorization. The 218 was fitted with a 2,500 horsepower V12 engine and the equipment required to power coaches with electric heating. This bit was the reason for the increased length. In addition, the locomotive was equipped for multiple traction and push-pull operations. The deployment of the Class 218 in the 1970s and the replacement of steam-heated coaches caused the progressive reallocation of the Class 216 to freight duties only. In the early 1990s, the Bundesbahn withdrew the first units. In 1998, the Class 216 was allocated to DB Cargo. The pace of withdrawal increased, and the last unit was decommissioned in 2004. Over the course of their career, the Bundesbahn introduced several color schemes, but none were systematically applied. The original livery was the standard dark red used for diesel locomotives until 1974. From 1975 onwards, the blue-beige livery started to be applied to some units as part of the maintenance cycle. From 1986, the same applied to the orient red livery of the so-called product design color scheme. Then came the privatization in 1993. Units not due a respray underwent a simple logo change, whilst others received a traffic red livery. And with the reallocation to cargo, some units were repainted in a traffic red DB Cargo livery. Basically, there were no rules. Some units even kept their original livery until their withdrawal. Quite a few 216s are still going strong. Some were sold on to other railway companies in Europe, whilst others were sent to preservation. This completes the prototype overview. You'll find links to credits, as well as the sources used to compile it, in the video description as usual. Right, let's have a look at my 3674. And there we are. I bought this model from a shop in Germany. The listing mentioned that the model was in good condition but was probably seized, whatever that means. We have a grey box. This grey packaging was introduced for the launch of Märklin Digital, but was only used for a couple of years at most. The box is in relatively good shape, with a few tears in the window and storage marks here and there, but it is the correct one, and it still does its job. Right, let's have a look inside. The logo still lies in a styrofoam inlay, like on analog versions. So let's take it out. And we sadly do not have any paperwork. Okay, I'll put the locomotive on a presentation rail and we'll have a closer look. And there we are. Well, this doesn't look bad at all. The paint is in good shape. We have a bit of dust from the packaging here and there. Otherwise, nothing seems to be damaged. But we do have what looks like a bit of wear on the upper silver stripes above the vents. I think this might be how the model is meant to be, at least judging by pictures of other examples of this model online. The running number is the correct one for this version, so we do have a version 1. Let's have a look around, starting with the cab. We have a couple of scratches on the nose. We were still in the toy phase as far as the paint job is concerned, so the application of the paint can be rather crude in places, especially on older toolings like this one. Now, this is particularly noticeable on the lower part of the cab, where we have uneven paint joints and hand-applied details like those stripes on both sides of the headlights that can be a bit wobbly. Those were the days. Now, the other flank is as good as the opposite one. We also have a bit of wear on the silver stripes at the top. And the other cab seems to be in good shape too. Probably in a better shape than the first one. We have scratches here too, but not as noticeable as on the first side. And we are back where we started. Let's have a look at the roof. Things are looking good there too. Märklin managed to pack quite a lot of details on here. There's a bit of a weathered look going on. Really not bad for something that was designed in the late 1960s. And now the chassis. This model was obviously enjoyed quite a lot. The pickup shoe needs swapping, but nothing is missing. And this is the right chassis for the body we have. There is a 1985 serial number. So that's excellent in terms of originality. Well, this looks like a good, honest model cosmetically. Let's move to the bench to see if we can get it going. And here we are. So we'll go straight to the track. Let's try a bit of power. And we are dead. As advertised, well, sort of, by the seller. Okay, let's see what is happening here. For this, we'll need to have a look inside the model. For this bit, I forgot to press record on my camera. So, here is a still of the internals. The model is still in its factory configuration. We have the star of the show in the center. That's the original Märklin digital decoder with its dip switches. The rest of the locomotive is the same as the analog version, with a large flat collector universal motor and the bulbs on each side. Now, I have reset all dip switches to off, but this wasn't necessary, as this type of decoder will automatically run in analog mode if no digital signal is detected. There is no sign of life, but in the digital world, appearances can be deceiving, so I am not going to write the decoder off just yet, and proceed methodically. These decoders need a very good electrical contact to operate, so I am going to start at track level and work my way back to the motor. The first thing I'm going to work on is the front bogie. I have taken the pickup shoe off and unscrewed the bogie to gain access to the contact surfaces with the chassis. I'm going to remove any grease or dirt deposits from the bogie with a bit of contact cleaner. I'll pay particular attention to the two side contacts. In this case, to be on the safe side, I'll even do a light pass with a track rubber. Then I'll move to the contact patch on the chassis and remove any dirt or grease I can see here. Then I'll wipe the bogie screw and reattach it. And I'll remove any dirt and oxides from the wheels with a light pass with the track rubber again. And I'll fit a new pickup shoe. Right, let's see where we are. You couldn't see it on camera, but the armature moved a tiny bit, so I think the decoder is functional, which is good progress. Now I'm going to have a look at the motor. Let me investigate. One moment, please. Okay, we are back. As you can see, I have removed the bulbs to exclude a source of potential short circuit, and I have had a look around. Now, I found another problem in the process. This is one of the decoder ground wires was only held to the motor ground tag by the screw. Now, it was too short to be soldered back on in the right place, so I have replaced the wire. It's not the right color, but that'll do for now. Now, let's look at the behavior of the motor. I'm going to apply some power. If you keep an eye on the C-clip holding the armature on the motor cover plate, you'll see it move a bit. See? So, it looks like the motor is locking. Now, I'm going to change direction and push the bogie down and to the side with a bit of pressure. And we have motion, but it's very slow going. So I am going to have a look inside the motor next. I'll spare you the opening. You've seen me do that many times on the channel. So, the inside of the motor cover plate is very clean. Let's look at the bogie. The wheel seems to be locking randomly, so I need to take care of that. Here I'm going to use a bit of WD-40 to try and free things up. I'll do this off camera, and I'll be right back. And that's it, all done. The wheels are free and run smoothly now. So I'll need to fit new tires too, as the old ones were loose, but I'll do this later. For now, let me put the motor back together, and we'll see if we have made any progress. So, things should be moving freely by hand, but they aren't. Let me try and do a quick test with a bit of power. See, the problem is still there. I need to move the wheels to get the motor going. The armature clip is a bit bent. Let's see if removing it improves things. Nope. Now, I have fitted new brushes here, so I don't think they could be the problem either. So at that stage, I think we might have a problem with either the cover plate holding the brushes or the armature. Let me investigate. And we are back. So I've had another look and I proceeded as follows. I first removed the motor brushes to check the armature could turn freely when turning the wheels by hand. As it could, I thought the locking could have something to do with the cover plate, so I replaced it with another one from my spares. Now this didn't help. I got exactly in the same place as was before. So I checked the armature again. First of all, that it was the correct type with 8 teeth. There's an earlier one with 7 for older models fitted with a large flat collector motor. But it was the correct one. The armature seemed to fit properly in the cover plate, but I thought it looked slightly bent. So I swapped it for an equivalent one again from my spares. Let's see if this works now. Hey, hooray! No locking. Okay, let me fit some tires and reattach the bogie quickly so we can do a proper test. And we are back in business. All right, I lubricate and reassemble the model now. And I'll send it around the long route on the layout for 10 minutes for a quick run-in. The locomotive looks happier now, doesn't it? We are past the 20 minutes mark, so I am quickly going to get some rolling stock out to finish the video with a train. Okay, I got a late 1970s coal train out from set 26593, released in 2014. It's a remnant of my digital operator days. This heavy train shouldn't be a problem for this locomotive tooling, but the proof is in the pudding, so let's send it on its way. Okay, we're off. Alright, this new arrival proved to be quite troublesome. Looking back, and considering the state of the internals, I think the seller tried to get it to run with minimum effort, then gave up and listed it as seized because of resinified lubricants. I might be wrong, but it would be a bit naughty if this was the case. Whatever happened, we got there in the end though. These early decoders are quite robust and rarely go wrong. Of course, they are miles behind today's technology in terms of functionality, so our model behaves like an analog version, minus the headlights of course. The troubleshooting steps I followed in this video are still applicable to today's models. In the digital world, the most important aspect is conductivity, so it is the first place to look at if something doesn't behave. Even if you were considering upgrading to newer components, I think it is always worth spending time trying to get the existing configuration going, as it can reveal other issues, as we have seen today. Our little 216 seems to be doing well as a result. It is a good, honest model, not the best example around, but still capable of providing many hours of fun. And this is fine by me, and well worth the money I spent on it. Right, I think we'll leave things here for today. If you have made it that far, thank you for spending so much of your valuable time with me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please let others know with a little thumbs up, a comment, a subscription, or even by buying a super thanks. Thanks again so much for all your support. Until next time, bye for now.